you and your questions. So first I'm going to talk about why we struggle with consistency. So consistency is one of the biggest struggles that I hear about from my clients, from just women in general, staying consistent. The women in my club have been working with me for a couple of weeks now, and I'm seeing a lot of struggle with consistency. So a lot of times we struggle because we go all in at a level that we can't maintain. So that is probably one of the number one reasons why I see women struggle, is because they are all in to start and they just are ready to make some big changes, and they go all in at a level that they can't maintain. Another reason we struggle is because we don't focus on one thing at a time. Kind of goes along with the all in. We take on way too many things at once, and we just can't take on all of those things at once and be successful. We're not doing things that we enjoy, and we're doing things that aren't doable in our life. So if you are making changes in your life that you don't enjoy, or that just aren't maintainable, then we will lack consistency as far as that kind of stuff goes, because if we're taking on things that we don't love to do, we're not going to maintain them long term. Another reason why we struggle, we constantly feel like doing more is better. Oh, this is one that it really, no matter what, it seems like we take something on and we think, okay, this is going really good. What can I do? What else can I do? What else can I take on? And it's one of the things that gets us in trouble, is because we think, okay, well, I can do this. What else can I do? What more can I do? So when we do things like that and we take on more than we can handle, we are not going to stay consistent long term. So it's one of the main things that I see with consistency is we take on too much, and we always think that more is better. And that is just simply not the case. So if you decide that you're going to follow a workout program that is 4 days a week, stick with it for a while and see how it goes. Don't go, okay, I can do 4. Let's do 5. Let's do 6. Let's add something else. Let's add this, because that's then what happens is we get burnt out. We take on way more than we can handle, and more is not better. Okay. We need rest days. We need time off. We don't need to take on all of that stuff at once. Another reason we struggle with consistency is we focus on perfection instead of progress. So a lot of times, if we're trying to be too perfect at everything, when we have a small setback, we say screw it because we're not being perfect. And so we need to realize that it's about progress. It's about continual progress. It's about making progress and moving forward. It's not about perfection. It's not about doing things perfectly all the time. It's just not. So when we realize it's about progress, then we can feel successful with how far we've come, rather than focusing on the things that we haven't done perfect. So that's another reason why we struggle with consistency. The last reason I want to talk about why we struggle with consistency is we fail to make what we want and what we're working towards a priority. If your fitness is a priority, then you will make it happen. If you want to be consistent with your fitness, you have to make it a priority. You can't feel bad about not being successful with your fitness routine if you haven't made it a priority in your life. If your nutrition is a priority, then you will make it happen. If you're failing at keeping your nutrition consistent, you have to ask yourself, am I making my nutrition a priority? So we can't be consistent with something that we're not making a priority. So if your fitness and your nutrition are a priority in your life, then we can work on consistency. But if you're not even making them a priority in your life, then we can't be consistent with it, right? So now I want to talk about what we can do to be more consistent. So first we have to be realistic about our expectations. We can't just become more consistent overnight, and we can't just have a broad plan to become more realistic or more consistent. It's unrealistic to just have a broad, I'm going to be more consistent. So in order for us to be more consistent, we have to be realistic with our goals, and we have to set small, specific goals. And so I always tell my girls, always, one focus a week, master, and move on. So what that means is that we pick one thing a week to focus on, and we really focus on just that one thing. Once we've mastered it, we can move on to the next thing. Now, the thing about that is mastering it, really mastering that one task, means that it will become consistent in our life. And that means when we move on to the next thing, we will have already mastered that previous thing, so that will continue to be consistent. And that when we turn our focus on the next thing, that other thing will just remain consistent. So it won't be like, oh, I've moved on to this and that other thing falls to the wayside. It will be, okay, I've mastered this. I'm drinking 3 liters of water a day, every day for an entire week. I've got this. Now I can move on to something else. Now I'm going to focus on my protein, or now I'm going to focus on getting 4 walks in a week, or whatever it is. Once we've mastered one, we can move on to the next. So small, specific goals is your first tool to becoming more consistent. The next thing I want to talk about is being flexible. So yes, I want you to have a plan. Yes, I want you to set goals, but I also want you to realize, remember, it's progress, not perfection, and I want you to be flexible with yourself. If you slept through your alarm today, it's okay. If you didn't get up to exercise this morning and you planned on it, it's okay. Be flexible. When can you fit it in? Can you get it in this afternoon? If tomorrow is your rest day, can you fit it in tomorrow instead? Being flexible and being like, okay, I can roll with this is so crucial with consistency. So if you want to be consistent, you have to realize, not throw in the towel every time some setback comes up. You have to realize, I can roll with this because I'm trying to be more consistent overall, not just today, not just tomorrow, overall in general with my life. I'm trying to be more consistent with my fitness goals. So if I didn't make it happen today, how can I make it happen tomorrow? How can I make it happen at a later day? Progress, not perfection with this. You will fail. We need to plan for setbacks. We need to plan for failure. Okay, so be flexible with yourself is my number 2 tool to becoming more consistent. Number 3, plan for failure. We cannot be perfect all the time. So yes, I want you to be flexible and plan to fail. You will fail. Things will come up. Things will happen in your life that you don't have control over. So if you can learn to roll with it and be flexible and understand that failure is part of the program, you will definitely learn to be more consistent long term. Number 4, hold yourself accountable. How can you hold yourself accountable? Are you writing down your goals? Are you marking an X on the calendar every day that you succeed? Are you writing succeed on your calendar? You have a week, you have 7 days, big giant black X's over the days. That can be a way you can hold yourself accountable. You can tell your spouse, you can tell your best friend, this is my plan. This is what I'm planning to do. And they can help you. They can say, hey, did you reach your goals today? Or hey, I can see you're not really following through, or whatever it is. That can be a way you can hold yourself accountable. Another really cool thing I just read about recently is called the Paperclip System, and maybe you've heard about it already, but get yourself like a bunch of paper clips, like how inexpensive is that, and 2 little containers, and you start with the paper clips in one container, and as you achieve your goals, let's just say it's to work out 5 days this week, so you have 5 paper clips. At the end of the day, if you've worked out, you move that paper clip over to the other empty container. By the end of the week, all your paper clips will have moved over to the other side. Let's just say it's 8 glasses of water a day, 8 paper clips in one container, and you move them over as you drink your cups. And at the end of the day, you can see that 1 cup is empty. And so it's like a visual reminder that this is my goal. And this is me achieving my goal. So that's really cool too. So use the Paperclip system. However you decide to hold yourself accountable, just make a plan to hold yourself accountable, okay? Because when we set goals, in order to achieve them, we need to hold ourselves accountable. So the last thing that I want you to do is think positively. Okay, we will not be successful if we're constantly talking to ourselves in a negative voice. Okay, if we're constantly saying, I can't do this isn't for me, I don't know how, whatever it is, you will not be successful if you continue to talk to yourself negatively. So let's change that and let's say, I can try. I am trying. I can do this today. I'm going to try harder tomorrow. Like if we think positively, in the long term, our negative thoughts just kind of disappear, and we can just kind of turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So if you want to achieve your goal, stop telling yourself you can't and focus on telling yourself you can try. So that is all I have for you guys today on consistency. I hope that these 5 tools really helped you. I can write them down in the comments so that you can get a good idea. Follow these 5 tips to be more consistent. Think about the things we talked about at the beginning, the struggles, why we struggle to be consistent, and think about where you struggle the most, and think about how you can implement these 5 tools to be more consistent. Consistency is definitely something that we can all use to help achieve our goals. So I hope that this helped you guys, and I enjoyed chatting with you today, and I will talk to you later. Bye.